Hi guys, good morning all of you. I hope all of you can hear me. Anyone guys, can you please confirm? Is I'm audible guys?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yeah, just a second once. Right. So guys, like in the last session, we have almost all completed the concept of functions, like how to create functions in Python, how to call the function, what are formal parameters, what are the concepts of how to go for the parameters, the positional arguments, and what are going to be keyword arguments, how to set the default values. So these are all the some of the things which we generally see in almost all in any programming language. Then what is the speciality what Python provides, guys? So Python has given you some kind of a speciality. That is, like normally, just now in the last class we have discussed about that. Like whenever I'm creating a function, yeah. So whenever we are creating a function, so we are writing a function like this, guys. Like just normally we are writing a function called as a diff, and we are writing the function name, whatever the name of the function, and we are providing the arguments. How many arguments you are providing, guys? For example, argument one, argument 2, argument 3, and let us say that it is an argument 4. Let us imagine that we have also set a default values equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0. So what is a default value? We know that in the case if you don't provide the value for the argument, it will take some kind of a default value. Like we already studied about that. Like for example, in our string class, recently we have covered the string class. String dot whenever I said which is going to be split, when I don't specify the whatever the splitting character, you know what is going to be default is going to be taken as. Default is going to be nothing but it's a blank space, guys. Isn't it? So like that, in some of the functions, like for example, we have discussed about list methods. List dot, whenever we discussed about a pop, in the case if we don't provide any position, default is going to be nothing but it is -1, isn't it? So like that, there are some set of default values, guys. So I told you methods and functions both are same, guys. Method is nothing but if we write inside a class, we are directly writing a function, right? Like this, right? Diff, which is going to be function name. Same example, if I write it in a class name, guys, within a class, you define it. For example, I define within the class, then this function is going to be nothing but called as a method. That's it. So method defining, function defining, nothing difference is there. Function and class both define in the same way. Only thing is we are defining a function inside the class. It is called as a method, but you are not defining inside the class. Directly we are defining it. Later I'll show you how to work with the classes and all these things. I'll show in the later classes, guys. Okay, fine. On in all these cases, maximum. So if you talk about the function, maximum arguments is going to be 4. Maximum arguments is going to be nothing but 4. Minimum arguments can be 0 in this case. Why? Because for all of them, we have a default value. For example, if we don't set a default value, minimum and maximum will be 4 only. We cannot be given less than the 4. We cannot give more than the 4. But what the Python people thought is, why should we restrict the people? Why should we restrict the programmers like that? Why don't you make the user, why don't the make the user to provide as many values we can give it? For example, I'm calling something like a function to add some numbers. In this case, maximum it can add up. For example, if you're writing some return statement, return, which is going to be argument 1 plus argument plus 2, argument 3 plus argument 4. So what is the maximum argument it is going to be, guys? Maximum arguments it can go is going to be 4, not more than that. Isn't it? Maximum arguments are going to be 4, not more than that. Then how it is possible, guys? How it is possible to make the users to provide more than the arguments? That means there is, we don't want to make it limit. Our main target is we just don't want to limit like 4, 5, 6. I don't want to limit it. Then how do you handle it, guys? For that only, the Python has given two special operations or two special options that has been given us. Really looks to be very simple, guys. Really, these the two options is going to be really looks like very small and simple options only while we are learning, but it gives you really a lot of flexibility to the developers. Looks to be very simple, but it is giving a lot of very we can say the powerful features we are giving it. And these are the mainly the two reasons, guys. One of the main two reasons which we can say that it is going to be why the Python is going to be that much popular also. One is going to be dynamically typed language. So many features are there, but as of now, dynamically typed language. One thing you observe carefully, guys, we are never declaring any variables. Directly we are using. That is one flexibility that was given to us. So we really, it's a big relief to the developers because every time writing integer, float, string, we don't require, guys. Quickly we're writing I equal to 10. Quickly you're writing I equal to hello. And the second feature, which is going to be, guys, it is star arcs, and one more is going to be double stars. So prefix it with a single star, prefix it with a double star. What is this single star and what is this double star, guys? Simple. I'll explain them. Observe carefully. This is nothing but what we are going to call it as flexible arguments, and these are what we are going to call it as flexible, which is going to be keyword arguments. Flexible arguments and flexible keyword arguments. Simple option, guys, but it is giving you a very big, that means we can say, we can also use a lot of flexibility to the users. It really gives a lot of flexibility to the users. It looks to be very small flexibility, but when you go to the practical implementation, really it is going to be. And why? Almost all, see, a lot of contribution, I told you, a lot of contribution is done towards the Python. So why the contribution was able to be developed towards the Python? Why? Because is they are able to develop their own frameworks. Why we are able to develop our own frameworks? Why we are able to develop our own frameworks? The basic reason here is this star arcs and star double star KW arcs, flexible arguments and flexible keyword arguments only. Using this, we are able to develop our own frameworks. Sometimes, guys, sometimes we'll get some like the role is a data science role only. They ask you to write, they will be asking for a data science role only, but the responsibility is nothing but we have to develop a framework. So many people do not have the idea about what is this framework. They'll hear about the framework, but what is this particular framework meaning is there? Framework is nothing but nothing is there, guys. Framework is nothing but we have to develop our functions, whatever the functionalities that are required for our functionality, specific to a particular functionality, guys, to a specific functionality. Like for example, I have seen some people like who are working on, and even sometimes also we are getting some job requirements in the Naukri and etc. They says that we are working for something like there is some company, let us say that they are working for something like a drones. They're working, they will develop and something related to drones related, some security related drones. It is not for some other thing. Some security is related to drones. They will develop it. So to make to work to whenever we want to work with that particular drones, so we have to develop our own framework. The responsibility is nothing but we responsible for which is going to be developing a framework for the drones. So many people think that so developing a framework means it is not related to us. What is meaning of developing a framework is nothing but we have to create our own functionalities related to that particular how the drone has to work. So let us say that if the drone has to move towards the left, so what is the program we have to write? If it is moved towards the right, so what is the program we have to write? Everything we have to write like a framework. Everything we have to write a framework. If it is successful, guys, what we can do is you can sell that particular framework to various drone manufacturing companies. So drones, so many companies is going to be manufactures the drones, but internally the drone has to work means some program, some framework is required, right? So only that particular framework we are going to be developing. So many startup companies also develop this kind of a frameworks only, guys. So what they will do is they will take some open source languages like Python, and what they will do is they will develop some kind of a framework specifically to a particular domain. Like some people may develop something related to only web development, or some people will do only for analysis or only for some other functionalities. So they will develop their particular framework. So this whatever we are about to see, we are not yet discussed about, but NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, whatever the frame, they are libraries, guys. They are nothing but such kind of a frameworks. NumPy is such kind of a framework which works only for numerical calculations. NumPy. Whenever we go for Pandas, it is basically for data analysis. Like that, we can create our own frameworks, our own functionalities, whatever you want to create it. How it is possible, guys? Really, that is going to be by using other languages, it is a little bit difficult. Do you want to develop a framework by using Java? Develop it, guys. But it becomes too complicated, too complex. Do it by using Python. It's very easy, very simple, very easy. Python means again, everything has to match. We have to match everything. But here, nothing to match. Just simply pass the inputs and we can work with the inputs, guys. Okay. First, let us start with what is meaning of star args. What is meaning of star args, guys? And one more thing is, it is only by notation only, it is args. No need to give only args, guys. You can prefix any variable with star. Star A, star B, star X, star Y, star Z, anything, star X1, star X2, star X3, whatever you want, we can write it, guys. But generally by notation only we'll follow this notation as star args, but it is not mandatory that we have to write star args. Okay, prefix the argument with a star, guys. That is our main topic. So what is this? Once again, I'm saying that it's a flexible arguments. What is meaning of flexible arguments, guys? Flexible arguments means there is no limit for number of arguments. There is no limit for number of arguments, guys. So how many arguments we are passing, there is no limit is there. You are giving the flexibility. It's not like your previous case, like only 4 is the maximum, only 5 is the maximum, or only 10 is the maximum. Here it is not like that. Here it is not like that. Let me show you some example. For example, just a quickly, I'll show you guys quickly. I don't want to open the Jupyter notebook. Let me open the idle just for small timing. Just let me open the idle. So sometimes, guys, you please try to work on idle also. Okay, so don't avoid idle completely. Okay, here and there, just 1 or 2 times we have to just try to utilize it, try to use it so that you don't forget the concepts here now. You can work, but try to use flexibility like how they are going to be using. Now see guys, what I'm going to do now, like any function we can take. For example, a equal to, for example, if I said which is going to be hello, for example, length is a function. A comma, for example, 10 if I say, clearly it will give an error saying that function will take only exactly one argument, but you have given two. A dot, which is going to be, we have a method called as an any method upper. Upper does not takes any input, guys. But let us say you have passed some input 10. We'll get an error saying that upper takes no argument, but you have given one. For example, if I said which is going to be a dot, just now we have split. I want to split by using a space. There is a maximum split is there. Maximum 2 splits I want to do, some other number I have given. Then we are going to get an error saying that split will takes at most only 2 arguments only, but you have given 3. Length take exactly 1 argument. You know what is meaning of at most t? At most 2 means it can take 2 or less than 2 also it can take. You know that split function will work with 0 arguments, guys. Split will work with 0 arguments, isn't it? Split is going to work with 0 arguments. Split is going to work even with a 1 argument also. For example, if I give a hash, okay, even it can work with 2 arguments also. What are the 2 arguments? Hash and as well as what is the maximum split. For example, whether what is an output is coming is not matter, but it is working. But at most it is going to be 2 arguments. Length is not like that, exactly 1 argument. Exactly 1 means only 1, not more than 1, not less than 1. And what about upper function? Upper function does not takes any arguments at all, but we have given 1. But all these are restricted, guys. All these are restricted. But if you don't want to restrict it, very simple, no limit for number of arguments. So, sir, how it will take it then? So how it will take it now? It's very easy, guys. Very, very simple. Observe carefully. Let me refine a function. Diff, for example, guys, let us say that it is add num of, for example, I said instead of writing arg1, arg2, arg3, simply I said star args, guys. What is meaning of star args is nothing but you internally write some code. First, let me explain it. Diff, which is going to be add num of, it is going to be, you can pass as many arguments you can pass, guys. There is no limit is there. There is no limit. You can pass as many arguments we can pass it. Sir, then how can it take? Then how can it take these particular arguments? How a single argument can take all these number of arguments? Very simple, guys. All these arguments will be internally converted into a tuple. So that means it will take it, guys. It will take, but don't think that it will take first time, first value, second time, second value, third time, third value, fourth time, fourth value. It won't take like that, guys. It is not going to take anything such kind of a thing. All arguments at a time by converting all these arguments into a tuple. We all of you know what is a tuple, guys. Isn't it? Tuple is nothing but a collection of heterogeneous objects, which is going to be immutable object. We can't modify these args internally, but we can do the application, guys. We can do the application. We can just extract them, but we cannot make any modifications. How it is possible, guys? So all your arguments are internally converted into tuple, guys. So no limit for number of arguments. And second thing is going to be nothing but converts all arguments. Whatever the arguments are there, convert the all arguments to, which is going to be a tuple, guys. They will be converted, all arguments. All the arguments will be converted into tuple. That means indirectly, this args is going to receive an tuple input. Previously, whenever we have passed in, guys. So look at this function. If I write arg1, arg2, arg3, arg4, while we are calling the function, if I pass 10, it is going to receive an integer. If we pass hello, it is going to return and it is going to take it like a string. If I give true, it is going to receive a Boolean value. If I say 20.45, it will return a float value. But here it is not like that. Even if I give like that also, all of them are going to be converted into a tuple and that will be passed to the function. So one of the flexible option, guys, flexible arguments are nothing but no limit for number of arguments. How it is possible? It will convert all your arguments to a tuple object, guys. That is mainly the functionality of this particular star args. Okay, let me show you once practically, guys, so that we'll understand it. Here also I can create it, guys. I told you, no, just you have to practice it in Ideal also, guys. Why? Because Ideal is not that much convenient environment, right? So in Jupyter Notebook, everybody can write. But if you should be also having a practice of writing, I'll show you there also. Have a look at that. Just see, guys, diff, you all of you know the function diff, which is going to be test underscore function of, I'm writing star args. Now see, put a colon, guys. Automatically, there is an indent will come. So in Ideal, the only confusion is putting this indent and all these things. Automatically indent is coming, guys. But whenever you want to terminate your the indent, or whenever you want to break it, that's a little bit confusion. Okay, no worries. Print what is going to be, what is the type of the args. I'm asking, I'm not doing any manipulation, guys. I'm only just printing what is your type of the args and what is your args, guys. So that is a function, guys. That is a function. Okay. Now I'm calling the function, guys, test function of 10, 20, 30, any numbers, does not matter. We are not doing any manipulations. I can say true, I can say false, I can say 20.25, and I can say hello. Anything you can pass it, guys, does not matter for us. Execute. What will happen internally, guys? All of them are internally converted into a tuple object very clearly. That's why I'm printing what is your args and what is your type of the args also. See? Whenever I execute this, we are going to get it like it's a class tuple, and we are getting the result as 10, true, false, 20.45, hello, etc. That means, remember, internally you have to manipulate. Internally you have to use it like a tuple. You cannot directly say like previously 3 times a, 4 times a x, 5 times a z. You cannot directly write it. You cannot say directly 4 times a tuple, because we know that tuples and list we cannot do any manipulations directly. We have to put it in a loop and we have to do the manipulations. Directly, we cannot perform the manipulations directly on the tuple objects. Isn't it, guys? So let us come back to our Jupyter notebooks. Let us work with the Jupyter notebook, guys. Like once again, I'll do it here. Once again, I'll show you diff, which is going to be, I said test function, guys. So test function 1, for example, if I said anything, let us say it is arg1, arg2, arg3, something, if we pass like this, guys, then you know what we have to return. For example, I'm returning arg1 plus arg2 plus which is going to be arg3, for example. Now I'm going to call the function, but how to call the function? Whenever we are calling the function, guys, you have to pass only 3 arguments only we have to pass. Works. If I don't provide 3 arguments, there is no default values. If we provide 2 arguments, it won't work. It won't work, guys, because it is saying that require the positional argument, which is going to be 3. Next, if I provide 30 and 40 also, you will get an error. Why? Because it says that the function will take exactly 3 positions only, but we have given 4 we have been given. In the case, if you provide some default values, then you can provide less than the required. But we cannot provide at any cost, we cannot provide more than the required, guys. It is not possible. But that is possible only with the help of, see guys, it is going to be test underscore function 2, and you just don't pass any arg1, arg2, arg3, just prefix the arguments with that. I told you, no, very frequently you are going to see it in Python, guys. The star args, even in the last class, I've shown you those particular concepts also. Star args, what is meaning of star args means, once again, what is print args? Don't need to print star args, guys. Print args. The star represents that the argument is a flexible, that's it. And print, which is going to be what is the type of the args, guys, executed. Now I'm calling the function, guys. How to call the function, which is going to be test function 2, and you can just pass. It's not like you can pass only 4 arguments, 5 arguments, 6 arguments. As many arguments you can pass in, guys, does not matter. True, it is a false, which is going to be hello. Anything you can pass in, guys. 30.45. Anyhow, internally you're not doing any manipulations. If you're doing a manipulation, then you may get a problem. But anyhow, you are not doing any manipulations. You can see, guys, I'm printing the value of the args, and you can see the what is the type of the args also. You can see that it has been a tuple object. So whenever we have used that particular star args, so how the Python was able to take multiple inputs like that. So it is not taking multiple inputs directly by multiple. Previously, 4 arguments or 3 arguments, 3 values. Previously, what we used to do, if you want to take 3 values, we used to take 3 arguments. But here, what we are going to be doing now, guys, 1 argument, but any number of arguments any number of values we can pass. Now you can do whatever the calculations you want to do, guys. Whatever the calculations you want, you can do, guys. It's not that you can do only one calculation. You can do as many calculations we can do, guys. So do you want to add the numbers? Let us say that not adding the numbers, but I'll do one simple application, guys. Previously, if you remember, we used to pass like inputs, and we used to return something like 3 times the x plus 4 times the y plus, which is going to be 5 times the z. It's not like that. What is my requirement here is, just imagine that if you got the input like this, guys, x1, x2, just imagine the inputs are going to be x1, x2, x3, x4 up to xn, guys. Now our requirement is very simple. What is my requirement here is, it is 1 times the x1 plus 2 times the x2 plus 3 times the x3. Okay, plus which is going to be n times the xn, guys. Hope you understood my requirement. So first argument needs to be multiplied by 1. Second argument need to be multiplied by 2. Third argument need to be multiplied by 3. Fourth argument need to be multiplied by 4. Like that, how many arguments you give? That many arguments. Last argument need to be multiplied by n. Okay, so let us do this example. So how do you do it, guys? Let us talk about a function, diff, which is going to be, let us say that I'm writing something like n, which is going to be some function, guys. Let us say that it is going to be add number or add num. I'm giving something called as an star args. How do you write this code? Simple coding, guys. What I'm going to write it for I in, you know how to write it now, guys. For I in or any or whatever the number you require, guys. For I in, which is going to be nothing but we have to start from 1, guys. Up to where we have to go? I know that the args is a tuple. So if a tuple is having 10, so we have to go from 1 to 10 we have to go. That's why what I'm going to do is length of the args plus 1, guys. Why I'm writing plus 1, you know that. If there are 10 arguments are there, your loop should be from 1 to 10, isn't it? So 1 to 11 we have to write, because we know that range object will generate only from 1 to whatever that particular n minus 1. Now see, guys, what I'm going to see. When you are writing this particular multiple like this, guys, then indent is very easy to handle it. No need to put curly braces and all these things. It's not required. So diff add num of args inside that first statement for I in the range of 1 comma length of the plus 1. What I'm going to do now, guys. So we have to add up all these numbers. So what we have to do now? Define one temporary variable, guys. Define one temporary variable outside the loop only, not inside the loop. T equal to 0, guys. Now you know what we have to do now. Whatever the t is equivalent to, Just a minute. Done correctly. Add num args t equal to 0. Okay, for I in range of 1 comma, which is length of args plus 1. Okay, fine. So t plus is equivalent to, guys, I'm going to write it as, which is going to be the args of I. You know what is args of I minus 1? Why I'm writing I minus 1? Why? Because is, you know the difference, guys. No, index will start from 0. Index will start from 0. Otherwise, you do one thing. It can be C, because see, for 0 index, we have to multiply by 1. So it depends on your usage. Your index is going to be starting from, even if you write like this, okay, even if you write like this, what I will do is, it is going to be t equal to, it should be multiplied. For 0 argument means first argument need to be multiplied by 1. That increment has to take place. Here, two things. One is the value need to be incremented 1 into, 2 into, 3 into, 4 into. So that value has to increase. At the same time, we have to get each and every value of that particular tuple. So what I'm going to do is t equal to, okay, it is going to be I plus 1. Why I'm writing I plus 1? Because it should be multiplied by 0 argument need to be multiplied by 1. That's why I plus 1 multiplied by whatever the args of, which is going to be I. If I write I here, if we write 1 here, if I write 1 here, I'm going to write it as I here, and here I write it as I minus 1. So that is a case of that. Then what I'm going to do now, I came outside that particular one and I said return the value of t. I'm going to return the value of, which is going to be t. I'm going to be returning, guys. Simple. Okay, your point is correct. If I start from 0, guys, what I'm going to do is, it is going to be 1 multiplied by, because if I write it as I multiplied by, it will become 0. So 0 is nothing but start from 0, index is going to be 0, but I'm multiplying by its I plus 1. So first time, the index will be 0. Get the first element multiplied by 0 plus 1. Second time, I becomes 1. So it will get the second element, but multiply by 1 plus 1, which is going to be 2. Third element multiplied by 3. Fourth element multiplied by 4. Like that, go up to the whatever the length we go for. Okay. Now how to call the function? See, guys, it is going to be add num of, which is going to be, if I don't give any input, guys, I'll get 0. Okay. If you set 10, what happens now, guys? 10 means it is 10 into 1, right? We'll get output will be 10 only. If I give 20, guys, it is going to be 10 into 1 is 10. 20 into 2 is going to be 40. So you'll get 50 is the result. If I provide the 30, guys, it is going to be 50 plus 90, isn't it? 3 times the 30, which is going to be 140. If I write 40, guys, it is 140 plus 160. It is going to be 300. Like that, guys. See how the flexibility I have given. 50. 50 means nothing but 50 into 5, 250. It is going to become 550. Like that, guys. As many you can do that. 60. It is 60 into 6, 360. 360 plus, which is going to be 550. It is 910 will be the result, guys. Like that, it goes on increasing, guys. 7 times the 70. 7 times the 70 is going to be 490. Like that, guys, it is going to adds up each and every number. There is no limit is there. You can, instead of passing like that, you just pass some random numbers, guys. 4, 1, 5, 23. Okay, any numbers, guys. 56, 44, 78, 34, 34, 23, or 22. 12 is a number. 56 or 58, we can give 90, 45. Any numbers you give it, guys. So internally, it is going to be calculating. There is no flexible, there is no limit, guys. You can pass as many arguments we can pass in, guys. So what is the purpose of that? As I told you now, when tomorrow, when you are creating your own frameworks, whenever you are writing your own functionality, without restricting anything with the output, we are able to write this kind of functionalities, guys. 67, 62, 79, 74, let us say 18, let us say 15. How many numbers you want to pass in, guys. How many numbers you pass it, you can just pass it here now. So it is going to be 16,000, which is going to be 75 is the result what we are getting it. No limit, guys. There is no limit for that. You can pass another 50 numbers like this. Not a problem at all. Just I'm copying them instead of typing it manually. I've just passed multiple numbers, guys. So it has been done like this. That's it, guys. Apart from that, nothing is going to be there. and nothing is going to be the implementation here now. That's the basic idea about this particular star args. Means we are not limiting you to provide any limited number of arguments. See, even if you provide 0 arguments also it is working. Even if I give, there is no limit. There is no limit. Even if I run, it is getting 0. But here it is not like that. In this case, minimum it has to be 3 arguments. Maximum it must be 3 arguments. Then only it will works. If you provide one less also, they don't work. Even if you provide one more also, it does not works. So generally avoid them. That means please avoid using this kind of a structures, guys. Make it generalized. It's we are making generalized, guys. You give any number of inputs, I will work. Give any number of inputs, I'm going to work. So see what is the differentiation it is showing you. So you pass any number of arguments. I'm not limiting like last class 3 times x, 4 times the y, 5 times the z. I'm not limiting like that. So it is going to be how many inputs you have given multiplied by your respect to positional coefficient. First argument is multiplied by 1. Second argument is multiplied by 2. Third argument is multiplied by 3. Like that, the nth argument is multiplied by n. Over. Done, guys. So this is about the one of the basic flexible option called as the star args. Then what is the next option, guys? There is the next option called as, which is going to be the double star. Single star, double star. Two options are there. So as I already told you, it is one important point, guys. While we are passing this particular star args, you should be compulsory. It must be only and only positional arguments. It must be only positional arguments only, guys. So don't try to write something like, sir, here you have written anyhow args. You can write it also, guys. You need not to write only args. For example, see, guys, diff, which is going to be the function name test1, and you can say star a, you can write in, guys. But don't think that, sir, while calling the function, guys, test1, don't write the function name as a equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50 comma 60. Don't pass it like this, guys. Don't pass it like this. You should not use any named arguments like this. No keyword arguments. As I'm saying that it is only positional arguments only. And one more thing also, guys, if we write a equal to 10 comma 20 30 40, we are violating the rule. What is the rule, guys? There is a keyword argument is there. Keyword argument cannot be followed by a positional argument, right? A positional argument can be followed by a keyword, but keyword argument cannot be followed by a positional argument, guys. So that is the main problem of this one. So there is no limit in the number of arguments, but there is a limit in providing the names of the argument. Don't give any names. Don't give any names, guys. You can use star a, star x also we can use. Sometimes we'll see it, guys, but generally by notation people will say that it is star args. See once, let me show you once. Let me write, guys, diff, which is going to be, I'm saying that it is test function or just test1, star, which is going to be a. No problem, guys, we can work with them. What is the type of the a? Okay, executed. Now you call the function, guys. So I'm writing which is going to be test1 of. I said test1 of. Don't try this example, guys. This is not allowed. That is what I'm saying, that even if you're providing one argument also, don't think that, sir, anyhow I'm giving one value. Why don't you take this one? Got an unexpected keyword argument a. Even some people tries like this also, guys. They will try to pass some kind of a tuple. Don't pass like a tuple, guys. Don't pass anything at all. Okay, simple. Your need to be simple. No need to write anything. Just normally, just like a function, you pass the inputs, whatever the inputs you require, guys. Nothing limit is there. Nothing limitation is there. Done, guys. That is how it is going to works. So we have to print it. That is the reason it didn't printed anything. Print it, guys. Print what is going to be type of the A. Execute it, guys. You can see that it's a class called as a tuple class. We are calling the function. So the function is printing what is the type of the arguments. Your arguments is going to be nothing but tuple, because I have used something called as a star. So star a, star x, star y, but generally people will get confused with that. That's why what the Python community is saying is better to use the option name as, which is going to be args is the better option name it is. So it is going to be, this is a notation what the Python recommends, guys. Okay, the next case. So the next case is going to be a one more issue, guys. So what is the main reason why we have got in? There are some issues are there. To handle that issues, this is a technique, guys. Next one. For example, in the last class, we have already seen about that. Let us say that I'm defining a function, guys. Let us say this is going to be test2. This time I said normal x, y, z only, guys. And we already we have seen about that. Internally, we return some logic. 3 times the x, 4 times the y, 5 times the z. Now I'm going to call the function, guys. While you are calling the function, two options. Either positional arguments, this is fine. Keyword arguments. How to provide the keyword arguments, guys? X is equal to 10, y equal to 20, z equal to 30. You interchange the order also does not matter. You write x first, z first, does not matter with that. And even I told you like we can also use a combination of positional and keywords also we can use, guys, isn't it? But some rules are there. A keyword argument can be followed, positional argument can be followed by a keyword, but keyword argument cannot be followed by a positional. But one small limitation is there. While we are calling the function, you have to use the same names as it is. That means you have to say x equal to 10, y equal to 20, z equal to 30. For example, unfortunately, if you said x equal to 10, y equal to 20, c equal to 30, it is going to give you an error, guys. It simply says that I didn't find any such kind of a keyword argument with a name called as NC. So number of arguments, when you are doing this, guys, how many arguments you define? Only that many arguments we have to pass. And second problem is same names we have to use in, guys. Same names we have to use. Sir, that is fine. We have to use the same names, whatever the names. What is the problem with that? What is the problem with that is, guys, tomorrow, see, what is the problem here is when you are writing some function, just an example. Let us say that I'm writing some function, guys. Even I shown you the problem also. Diff, just one function called as test1. In the function name, I have written something called as color equal to is the name of the parameter. Just an example. So let us say that in test1, we have written the name or the argument is going to be color. So when you are calling that, we have to pass color equal to. In another function, guys, maybe in another function, what happened here is instead of writing color, they have written COL. That means in second function, color is represented by a parameter called as COL. In one function, it is by using color. One more function is there, guys. Diff, which is going to be test3. There they have written only C equal to. All the three represents the same name, guys. Names are different. Color, call, which is COL, and C. Names may be different, but all of the three are representing the same specification. It is representing some color. So obviously, when I do like this, guys, obviously the user will get confused, right? How can he remember which function is containing color? He has to remember, he has to by heart. Test1 will take color. Test2 is going to take COL. Third one is going to take the C. That means must and should the user has to remember or by heart the particular concept. This is a value, this is a value, this is a value. So what the Python people thought is, why should I restrict like that? Why should I restrict like that? For example, in the first case, guys, for example, unfortunately, if you said test1 of the parameters, in the place of color, if you write C equal to red, it will throw an error. It will be an error, guys. Why it is an error? Simply it says that I didn't find any such type of an argument called as in C, because there the color is the name of the argument. For test2 argument, for test2 function, you have to pass which is going to be COL. But in the place of that, if I write color is equal to, for example, red, that is going to be again an error, guys. Why? Because we know the technique. So why? Because here the parameter name is COL, but we have given the name as COLOR. Isn't it, guys? Obviously, we have faced the problems, guys. I told you also, don't think that today we are creating the function name arguments as A, B, C. But when you go to real application, when you go to the later classes, I've shown you some examples. So what is going to be line size? What is the line width? What is going to be something? Even last class, I told you about that. So there are some functions like which is going to be marker equal to, what is a parameter, what is going to be line style equal to, okay, what is going to be line width is equal to. Like that, we have some parameters, guys. Line width is equal to, what is going to be the size equal to something. Let us say that, whatever it may be. Sometimes we'll write size, sometimes we'll write marker size. Then how can you remember that this is going to be the value? And one more thing also, guys, it will get an error also. So whenever there is an error is there, generally we all of you know that, guys. As a programmer, as a developer, a developer means we are not writing any programs here, but we are writing some kind of a computer programs and computer scripts. Generally, we are highly worried about this particular, we are afraid of these particular errors. Isn't it? Everybody, guys, whenever error comes, immediately you will be afraid of that. Something is an error is there. Even if it is a small mistake also, you're really afraid that maybe some program has been not written properly, or we have written wrong, or the somewhere it is going to be. Even if the program successfully executes, and if we didn't get any output, isn't it, guys? We didn't get the correct output, guys. You didn't get the correct output. Let us imagine that you are writing a C program for adding of two numbers. You have written something like A plus B. So you have given 10 and 20. You are expecting 30 is an output. But in the place of 30, we have got 25, guys. Program executed, you got a different result. You got some wrong result. You are not afraid of that. Why? Because you never worry about that. At least you are having a satisfaction that, yes, program has executed. So that is your confidence, guys. That is your confidence. Yes, I written a program code correctly. That's it. Logic error is there. I can debug it very easily. I can just check the code and do that. For example, first of all, if you written a program, the program immediately raises an error. It's a problem with, let us say that, putting a semicolon. But without looking the error itself, first of all, whenever error comes, you will be very afraid of that. So some error has came. You never think about like what error you have done. First of all, you will be worrying about that error. That's why what the Python developers have, why the Python creators also done the same way, guys. When the user gives a wrong argument, why should I throw an error? For example, if color is equal to red is there, you have given a color equal to red. Okay, so if I don't give the color, in the place of color, if you use some C or some other name, why should I raise the error? Simply ignore it. Just ignore it. That's it. Okay, don't change the color. If I said in the place of color, if you said C, don't change the color to red. Program has to execute. But only thing is red color won't come. Your output will be coming in some other default color. Then you will be the whoever the developer or whoever the programmer, he is going to be not afraid of that because program executed successfully. So color has been not changed. So then the programmer is having some confidence saying that, yes, I written the program correctly only. So the problem is with the color parameter. Hope you understood the problem, guys. The problem is now not with the number of arguments. The problem is with the names of the arguments, guys. Okay, so in normal cases, you have to use the same names as it is. So Python community has thought that, why should I limit like that? You can give any arguments with any name. So for that only, the solution is going to be, guys, it is going to be diff, whatever the name of the function, you can pass it and use prefix the argument with double star, guys. Again, same thing, you can use A, X, B, whatever you want, but Python has recommending saying that better to use a name called as an KWArgs, stands for, which is going to be nothing but flexible keyword argument. Previous one is flexible arguments, guys. But here flexible, which is going to be keyword arguments. What is meaning of flexible keyword arguments, guys? Flexible keyword arguments means you can give any number of arguments, guys. Any number of arguments we can give, any number of arguments, guys. As well as you can give any names also we can give, guys. Both are flexible to you, guys. No limit for number of arguments, no limit for names of the argument. Previously, when I used this particular first concept, the first notation, arg1, arg2, arg3, arg4, number of arguments are 4. You have to use the same names only. X comma y comma z, you have to use 3 arguments only. You have to use the names like x, y, z only. But when I used the keyword argument, when I used the flexible arguments, you should not give any names. No names should be given, guys, but arguments are flexible. Number of arguments are flexible, but not the names. But here, names are flexible, guys, and number of arguments are also flexible. That means you write any functionality, any name you can call it. Now observe carefully how I'm calling the function, guys. So this time, compulsory we have to use keyword arguments only, guys. You know what are keyword arguments? X, Y, some name. But there is no limit, guys. You can write A equal to 10. You can write X equal to 20. Something like Y equal to 30. Something like Z equal to 40. something like m equal to 100, 60, whatever you want. N is equal to 80, some I equal to 10, j equal to minus 10. You pass as many arguments you can pass in, guys. Must and should, they must be keyword arguments, must and should. In whenever I use star args, only positional arguments, no keyword arguments. Whenever I use flexible keyword arguments, only keyword arguments, guys. No positional arguments. We should not use any positional argument, guys. Must and should, it must be the same only. Then, sir, how it will take it now? How it is going to? Sir, we didn't specify anything like x and y. How it is going to take? Very simple, guys. All these arguments will be internally converted into a dictionary object, guys. Internally, they will be converted into dictionary object. Dictionaries, guys. You know what are dictionaries? Keys and values. Who is a key and who is a value, guys? The argument name is a key and the value is going to be nothing but your value. Name of the argument is key and the value, guys. So every variable name or every argument name is going to be taken as a key and its value will be corresponding the value for that particular key, guys. So n is a key and value is going to be 80. J is a key and minus 10 is going to be nothing but it's a value. That means internally how it is getting converted, guys. All these are internally converted into a dictionary object. Key A, value 10. Key X, value which is going to be 20. Like this, guys. Next one, key which is going to be Y. What is a value? It is 30. Key, what is going to be Z? It is going to be nothing but it is 40. Like that, it goes on the application like this, guys. A equal to 10, X is equal to 20, Y equal to 30, Z equal to 40. Like keep on, we have to add up the numbers, guys. That's it. That is the way how we can work with this kind of an applications like this. So see the flexibility. So don't think that it works in a normal way, guys. It is giving a flexibility saying that you give any name, you give any number of arguments. We don't limit the number of arguments. We don't limit the names of the arguments. But internally, we'll convert all of them into dictionary object. Your name of the argument must and should, it must be. Dictionary means it must be key and value pair, guys. That's why compulsory name must be there, guys. If I directly provide like function, if I give 10, 20, 30, it won't work. It won't work, guys. Must and should, there must be keyword must be there. There must be keyword arguments must be there. There must be some names must be there. And there must be some values must be there. Have a look at this. How I'm going to be working with that. Very easy, guys. Very easy and very simple. Just let me show you the example, guys. Diff, which is going to be nothing but I said test2, guys. Simple, guys. Double star. Even you can use X, Y, Z also we can use. But not to have a confusion, we use KW args. Same technique, guys. Print what is going to be KW args and print what is going to be the type of the what is going to be KW args. See, guys, it is going to be the KW args, which is going to be what is the type. First, always try to know, guys, what type of object we are working. Once if you know what type of objects you are working, automatically remaining things can be derived from it. Execute and check it out, guys. Have a look at this, which is going to be the test2 of. Don't pass it like this, guys. Test2 of 10, 20, 30, 40. Don't pass it like this, guys. We are going to get an error. Why? It is taking keyword arguments. Must and should, we have to take keyword arguments. See, take 0 positional arguments, but you have given 4. It is saying that you have given 4, but it will take only, which is, it is required 0 positional arguments, but you have given 4. You give any names. I don't bother about the names, guys. A equal to, let us say, guys, size equal to 10, color equal to 20, anything you do, guys. Color equal to 20, style equal to 30, style equal to 30, width is equal to 40, guys. Never matters about that. Executes. See, guys. Internally, how it is converted, you observe carefully, guys. Size 10, color 20, style which is going to be 30, width is equal to 40. Over, guys. It's not giving any error. Sir, what to do with that? I'll tell you. Sir, how can you utilize them? I'll tell you. Okay, but this is how it is going to be working. So don't give any positional arguments at all. Every argument need to be keyword. Here, every argument need to be positional. Here, guys, every argument need to be positional here now. Isn't it? Every argument, whatever the argument you have given, add num, it is going to be the position. There has to be key positional arguments. Don't use any keyword. If you try to say something like x equal to 70, you will get an error, guys. Normally, we know that in normal discussion, after positional, we can use keyword. I can use it. Yes, it is possible, but here it is not possible, guys. Here it is going to be star args. Add number got an unexpected keyword argument x, guys. So don't give any keyword arguments. Here, if we give any positional argument, we will get an error. Without writing with equal to 40, if you write 40, you will get an error, guys. So it is obviously that the error is nothing but positional for after keyword argument, we cannot have a positional. That is an error. Or else, for example, here I write it as width only. I'll write it as width equal to 40. And now I'm removing the first argument, guys. According to our normal understanding, first positional is first argument can be positional is fine. But problem is with which is going to be the type of the argument we are using. We are going to be getting an error saying that no positional arguments, but you have given one. So must and should, you have to give the name of the argument, and then we have to provide a value of the argument. See, guys, internally, dictionary object. Very clearly, guys, print what is going to be KW args. It is a dictionary, guys. What is the type of the KW args? Clearly, we can see class dictionary. Now we are giving some flexibility, guys. What you want to do, that is up to you. What you want to do, that is up to you, guys. Okay. For example, user is providing a size, color, style, width. You want only the size and the width only you require, or you require only color and width only you require, or you require style and width only require, or anything you can take in, guys. Just I'll show you one example. Have a look into that. Simple. I'm going to write a simple syntax, guys. Just a simple example only. Diff, which is going to be something like an test3 function, guys. Arguments are going to be double star KW args, flexible keyword arguments. Fine. This is done, guys. Now what I want to do now. Now user can give any input, guys. X, Y, Z, A, B, C, whatever you want. But what is my requirement here is, I want to say, see, the same example yesterday we done, X, Y, Z. User has to pass the value for only X, Y, Z only. Even if we give A, B, C, you will get an error. But here, same example, but I'm restricting it, guys. I'm not restricting you. Now see what I'm going to do now. You know that it's a dictionary object, guys. From a dictionary object, see the syntax, guys. Dot get of X. You know what is meaning of KW args dot get, the get method, guys. Get is nothing but a method relevant to the dictionary object. It will get the required value. In the case if the value was not there, it is 0, guys. So what is the meaning of this? You know that get the value of X. If X is not there, give 0. Take it as 0, guys. Okay. Next, this need to be multiplied by 3. Whatever the X value was there, multiplied by 3. That means 3 times the value of X. You do one thing. Return 3 multiplied by, it is KW args plus same notation, guys. 4 multiplied by the same example what we done in the last class, guys. But in the last class, example restriction is, if you give only X, Y, Z only, it will works. If you give A, B, C, it does not works. But here it is not like that. It will works, guys. But how it will works, I'll tell you. 5 times, which is going to be the KW args of dot, which is KW args dot, which is get, which is I'm going to say that it is going to be Z comma, which is going to be 0, guys. So what is the meaning of this one is, you pass any arguments, guys, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, whatever you give, I will take only X, Y, Z values only, and I will multiply that X value with 3 if it is given, or else I'll take it as a 0. Y multiplied by 4, if it is not given, I'll take it as a 0. Z, if you give the value, I'll multiply by 5, else I'm going to take it as a 0, guys. So see the advantage of this function, guys. You are not restricted to provide the number of arguments. See, guys, test3, you just call the function, guys. You didn't given any inputs at all. Now what happens now? No input was there, guys. So that's why to get that advantage, what I use is, in the case if X key was not found, it will return 0. It won't, if you don't write it, guys, you'll get an error. That's why what I did is get X value. Now see, guys, what is an output we are going to be getting, guys? 0. Now you said X is equal to 10, guys. 3 times that 10. Z is equal to, say, simple, guys, Z is equal to 30. No worries, guys. It will take Y is equal to 0. It will take it. It will take Y equal to 0. So it is going to be 180. If we take y equal to, which is going to be 20. In the last class, we have seen 260 is the result we have to get in, guys. You have to get a 260. That number only we remembered. But what is an advantage here is, guys, for example, if I write a equal to 20 also, it won't give any error. But one thing, it won't consider a here, guys. It will take only x and z only. A will be ignored, but you don't get any error. That is an advantage, guys. We don't get any error. It's not giving 360. And don't think that A will be taken as Z. A won't be taken as Z, guys. Only thing is A will be ignored. But previous cases, it is not like that. For example, talk about the first case. Talk about the first case, guys. You write argument 1 equal to 10. Argument 2 equal to 20. Argument E3 is equal to 30. Up to there, it is fine, guys. Up to there, it is fine. But you try to write argument 4 equal to 30, you'll get an error. You will get an error, guys. But here, we are not getting any error. We are not limiting the number of arguments, guys. You can take as many arguments you can take. We are not restricting it. So what generally I'm going to do, guys, whenever I'm writing some functionality, what I'm going to do is maximum I'll use this star double star args. And I'll say that these are the names of the arguments you have to use. But while using the arguments, if you use the same name of the arguments, I will work. I'm going to work. If you give some argument names which is not a correct name, I'm not going to throw any error, but I will ignore it. So in this case, A will be ignored. Z, for example, you write Z equal to 30. It only does the calculations only with X, Y, Z. Oh, sorry. Z is already given, no? So if we give Z also, guys, you know what is going to happen, guys. Z equal to 40. It's converting into dictionary. In dictionary objects, keys cannot be duplicated. So that's why keyword argument repeated, which is going to be Z, guys. You said, for example, so let us say y equal to, which is going to be 20. Yes, it is taking all the 4 variables, guys. Your function is going to take 4 values, x, y, z, a. But it will consider only the x, y, z only it will consider, but the a will be ignored, guys. There is no limit for the number of arguments. You can pass as many you can give, guys. I can say I equal to 10 or I equal to minus 10. J equal to, let us say that 50. Something like K equal to, which is going to be 0. A equal to, which is going to be 20. B equal to, let us say that it is going to be 30. Something like I can say M equal to 100. How many arguments you pass it, guys? No limit. There is no limit, guys. But only the thing is the problem is going to be but the only thing is I don't consider all your arguments. I am going to consider only X, Y, Z only we are going to be considering, guys. Remaining, I'm not going to be considered at all. Executes. I'm not getting any error, guys. Okay, A is repeated. You write it as A1. Done. Over. You pass any number of arguments, but I'm considering only X, Y, Z only. Okay. So that really, as I told you, it looks to be very simple technique only, guys. Technique is simple, but it is going to be the concept is simple, but it's really giving a huge flexibility to the user. Really, guys, isn't it? You are not getting any error. Previously, we used to get a problem. Must and should I have to give the same names. How many functions you will remember? How many arguments you will by heart, guys? Today's function is there, but tomorrow after 10 days, if I ask you to execute, you'll get it out, sir, whether I give an X, Y, Z there, or whether they given A, B, C, or whether I give an argument 1, argument 2, argument 3. But here it is not required. Even if you don't know the argument names also, pass some argument names. If it is valid argument name, it will work. If it is valid argument name, it does not throw error. I'm not saying that it does not work. It does not throw error, guys. I told you, the developers are mainly afraid of errors only. Program executed successfully, even if we don't get the output correctly also, later we can debug it. But if first of all, the program itself is not executing, if it is throwing some error, immediately the programmers will be afraid of that particular results. Got the point, guys? So these are the 2 extra things what the Python has provided, guys. So from now onwards, wherever you use the star args, understand that it is a flexible arguments where you can give any number of arguments without having any names. Only positional argument, guys. What is going to be double star args, guys? What is meaning of double star args means? Again, it is going to be same thing. That means we can provide any number of arguments with any name, but the function will consider only the required argument names only. It will consider it and returns the results. It does not takes all the inputs and does not process all the inputs. Here it won't consider all the remaining arguments like I, J, K, A1, A, okay, B and M, they are ignored. It will consider only X, Y, Z. Z is not there. Sorry, Y is not there. It will take 0. Is Y is not there, right? Yeah, Y was not there, right? So if I execute this, A, X, Z, Y was there here. Sorry. Y was there here, guys. In the case if Y was not there, then the Y is ignored. If Z is not there, then automatically Z1 is not ignored. It's going to be ignored, guys. If I write X1 equal to 10, see guys, none of the argument I have used it correctly, but still the program is working. Still the code is working, guys. It is returning 0. That is the main objective of the flexible keyword arguments, guys. Right? Anyone, guys? Any questions? If you have any questions, guys, please clarify that. We'll go ahead with the next concepts, guys. Fine, all of you guys? Okay. So once if we're done with this, guys, we have a next one more small technique is there, guys. A small technique is going to be there. That is going to be nothing but Python provides you all these kind of a techniques only, guys. So all flexibilities like this only, guys. That is the reason why the Python is becoming simple. Why? Because is due to these kind of a flexibilities only, guys. It gives a lot of flexibility to us. So based on that particular flexibilities only, we can work with all these kind of an applications. Okay. So next to go, guys, it is going to be something a new concepts. It is a little bit new, guys. Maybe you have never seen about that. Maybe in some languages I have seen, but I don't know how much extent you have seen about that. You may hear about the name, but the concept is different, guys. The concept name is going to be nothing but it is going to be what we call it as lambda functions, guys. So the word may be some kind of a generic word. It's a lambda. It's a generic terminology, guys. But you can see like whenever we go to some AWS or something like that, there we have something called as a concept of lambda. I was not sure about that because I was not an expert in Java. But in Java, people also I have heard about some Java people talking about something about a concept called as an lambda concept. I was not sure about that. Whatever the extent of lambda is going to be the correct name it is used. In Python also, we are having this technique called as, which is going to be a concept called as a lambda function, guys. There are going to be lambda functions is what we are going to call it as. Simple to say, guys, simple to say. What is this lambda functions? Lambda functions are nothing but, guys, the functions without any name. That's it. That means functions without having any name, guys. So whenever I said functions without a name, generally most of you will get one small doubt, guys. The doubt is, sir, you said that functions are mainly useful for reusability purpose. Functions are basically the purpose of function. Why we are creating function, guys? Instead of writing it repeat a number of times, instead of writing for repeat a number of times, we are going to write it, which is going to be, we are going to write it only for one times, and you are going to use it as many times you can use it. That is what we used to, that is what we are talking about, guys. That is what we are talking about. Okay. Then the idea here is, sir, why the functions then without having a name? Why the functions is not going to take a name? What is the purpose of that? When there is no name, you cannot reuse it, guys, isn't it? It is going to be just like an unknown function. That means there is no name for that. Sir, how can I use it? We cannot use it. So what is the main purpose of this function is, guys? In Python, normally, up to now, we have seen functions, guys. Functions will take the input as integers, or it may take floats, or it may take strings, or it may take tuples, or it may take some other list, or it may be some other dictionaries. Up to now, we know only these objects only, guys. But remember, guys, in Python, function is also an object. Function is also one kind of an object type only, guys, isn't it? Function is also going to be a type of an object only. Ask it, guys, what is type of test2? What is the type of a test2? Test2 is nothing but an object type called as a function type. Internally, one object is created. The object is going to be function type, guys. So sometimes, guys, in our Python, some functions will take input also as an functions, guys. Observe carefully. A function taking the input argument as a function, because function is also an object only. Function can take any type of arguments as an input, guys. It can take an integer, float, string. It can take a list, tuple, sets, dictionary, frozen set. Even we can also give another function also. That means one function is an argument to another function, guys. One function is an argument to another function. So it is function or is an argument, guys. So whenever we want to whenever we want to call this function now, first of all, the function need to be created. I'll explain practically, guys. Don't worry. The function need to be created, guys. So first of all, we have to create a function and then we have to use the function, guys. First, we have to create a function and then we have to use a function. So, but anyhow, this function we are not using anymore. That means we don't want to use anywhere, guys. Due to this particular functionality of this outer function only, I require the inner function. So what you are doing first, guys, first we have to define the inner function. You have to define it. Just an example I'm writing, guys. First, you have to define the inner function. After defining the inner function, then you are calling the outer function, guys. So this is going to be outer function you are calling. You are written outer functionality. Outer function input is going to be nothing but we have to write the inner function. So we have to define it, guys. We have to define it and you are using it. Instead of defining in one step, instead of using in another step, what we can do, guys, both defining and usage, both can be done at the same time. As I'm saying, guys, in some functions, some of the functions in Python will take the argument as a function. So instead of defining the function outside the calling function, and then why should I use the function again in the next step? Both defining and calling. That means you define what it is doing, what it has to do, and use it both at the same time only. It's generally, I use a term called as an on-fly creation. What is meaning of on-fly creation means, guys, at what instant of time you require, at that time you create it and use it. Functions are not like that, guys. You are defining in one step and later whenever you want, you can use it. You are defining the function and later whenever you want, you can use it. But on-fly creation means at that instant of time create it, guys. At that instant of time, use it. Create and use it, guys. At that instant, you cannot use it later. You cannot create it later. So some instances, what we'll do is some Python will ask, can you provide a function here now? So if you want to use a function, first of all, the function need to be created. Again, no need to go back and no need to create a function and again come back. There only you create the function. There only you have to use the function. So it's like a dynamic way of creating the function, guys. Generally, we call it as on-fly, the on-fly creation. They are nothing but what we call it as lambda functions in our Python, guys. Okay, so 10-15 minutes it will take, guys. So I don't want to push it in a hurry. So tomorrow we'll complete off it. Actually, we plan to complete today, just 15 minutes. Tomorrow we'll complete off and then I'll stop with the core Python concepts. And then I'll start with my next concept called as what is modules? What is a module in Python? What is main purpose of modules? That is this is a main important topic in the Python, guys. Simple. You need not understand anything, guys. It's not a logical concept. No need to write anything. It's a built-in. Every module is going to be built-in module only, guys. How to use it only we have to understand. We don't create the modules. We don't create the modules, guys. We don't write any code for that. We have to just understand what is a module. If you know that how to use a module, it directly tells you. Why? Because most of the modules we use is only built-in only. Most of them is built-in. Everything is going to be built in by Python only. Only thing is how to use it only we have to know about the functionality. Okay, so that's it for the today's class, guys. So just for today, I'll stop it here. We'll continue in the tomorrow's class, guys. Anyone, guys? Any questions? All of you are fine with the today's class? Okay, so just for today, I'll stop it here, guys. We'll continue in the tomorrow's class, guys. Thanks, all of you.